How's it going, guys? I am Matthias. I'm wearing a Hogwarts Slytherin shirt because I'm Slytherin. What are you going to do about it? Anyways, today is Sunday and I am reading your comments. And today I'm reading your comments all about your awkward first dates. Now, before we begin, for a future episode, the question of the day is, what is a story between you and your best friends or your siblings that you're trying to hide from your parents? Okay, guys, let's get it all out in the open and then invite the parents to the comments. Hey, look at this. This comment is, I think, from my sister. On another first date, the boy walked me to my front door, and I guess my mom saw us through the window, so she proceeded to come out and ask if we needed her. Pretty sure I didn't need her at the moment my date was going to kiss me goodnight. Never got that kiss. Oh well, things worked out, I guess. Haha, you guess? What do you mean you guess? A date? You mean those oval-shaped reddish fruit things that grow on certain palms? Don't think I've ever had one, so I can't say whether or not it was an embarrassing experience. Oh, you're so clever! So clever! I've only had one first date. I had this date with my boyfriend. We both never kissed someone before, so our first date was really, really awkward. He was about to French kiss me, but I wasn't really into that, so this kiss became pretty awkward. I'm still not into French kissing though. My most embarrassing first date was when I was 12 and I went to Pizza Hut and I didn't realize she was allergic to tomato. Oh, that's pretty much everything in Pizza Hut. We were in a fancy restaurant and I really had to sneeze. There were no tissues, so I sneezed in my sleeve, but I missed and got it all over the table. I had a nosebleed, so blood went everywhere. Then my date got up, screamed, "She has Ebola," and ran out the front door. Face palm. On my first real and only date, my boyfriend of 3 days dumped me and then proceeded to talk about Minecraft for the rest of the time. I'm not laughing at your pain. That's just so incredibly, unbelievable. Minecraft? So he's like, hey, listen, we shouldn't be together anymore, but check out them creepers, am I right? People would have to love me enough to ask me out to start with. I'm so lonely. Some people feel happy when they are with their significant other, and some people feel sad because they're alone, but my own happiness is by being with my friends, not family, not a boyfriend. You don't need to be with anyone to be happy, by the way. I love your videos. That is very true. You don't need to be with anyone to be happy, and a lot of people don't understand that. A lot of people think that they're going to be happy when they get a boyfriend or a girlfriend or a significant other, but that's not the truth. You need to learn to be happy with yourself before you can be happy with others. I was going to dance with my girlfriend and I was about to leave because I had a soccer game. Before I left, I went to kiss her. I had never done that before. I went to kiss her and I missed. Basically, I was with my first date at a restaurant. I went to the bathroom, came back, and he was sitting with another girl. So in anger and betrayal, I yelled at him in front of everyone at the restaurant. Turns out it was just his mom. Why did he bring his mom on your first date? I've been dating a boy for 6 months and we still haven't had a first date. That's awkward. My first embarrassing date I had was at the dance in middle school. It was themed for Halloween and I was drinking punch. Tasted bad as frick. And my friend scared me. The punch went on my shirt and slipped and landed on my date. My head hit his nuts. I am so sorry. The most embarrassing thing that happened to me on my first date was when I decided to meet my girlfriend at the time at the movies. She brought a friend with her. It was really awkward for a friend just gave me a death stare the whole time. Dang, man, you got blocked. When I was in a Mexican restaurant with my girlfriend and then I ordered some food. It was pretty normal until I noticed that the waitress was my ex-girlfriend. Whoops. I was on a date with this guy I really liked and he was talking about his cousin and how his cousin was dating a douchebag and I assumed that his cousin was a guy, so I said, oh, my cousin's gay too. He turned at me and said, my cousin's a girl. He turned out to be a homophobe and said I was a freak, and it turned out that I was gay and he got arrested, so that comment just went everywhere, didn't it? I was at McDonald's and I was trying to make my girlfriend laugh by seeing how many fries I could stick in my mouth and then swallow them. Long story short, I almost died by choking to death. Oh, but she was impressed though, right? On my first date, me and my girlfriend went to Olive Garden. As we were walking in, I realized my allergies were acting up. As we were eating, I sneezed and snot flew into her food. We never spoke again. Awkward. Me and my girlfriend went to a diner in LA and this old lady just stood up and poured her milkshake all over me and my date and shouted, "The Lord does not approve of lesbian couples. The devil himself is in you." Some people. That's horrible. That's the most horrible thing I've ever heard of. On my first date with an old boyfriend, I talked nonstop. I think he said maybe a sentence every 15 minutes. Then my dad started pacing outside the window, making sure I was still alive. It was totally embarrassing looking back on it, but we did end up dating for 2 years, so I guess it wasn't too terrible. I'm 11. My mother won't let me date. Good for your mom. My most embarrassing first date was almost my last. My boyfriend at the time said that he didn't have a lot of money, so we were going to a free movie. Well, for like once in forever, I thought it would be nice to dress up and do my hair, which took 3 hours. When I got to the theater, at first I thought I was late, but it turned out he stood me up and sent his friends in his place. Let's just say they had cameras and recorded me freaking out, and it showed it to almost everyone in school. Yeah, our relationship didn't last very long. What the heck? What a jerk. We were at the park and decided to have a picnic. We then sat down on the grass. Everything was fine until he drove me home. His car started to stink, so he tries to hurry. When we got to my house, I got out of the car and things weren't so great. I sat in poop and I got it all over his white leather seats. I don't think he's gonna invite me out again. Oh! During the date, I immediately got the friend zone talk. Maybe you weren't on a date, bruh. My first date was really awkward. I thought I was going out with this girl. We worked out a date over text, but it turned out to be someone else. Yup. My first date was horrible. First, we went to the movies and he was pretty much on his phone the whole time and it got super awkward. After the movie, he decided to bring me to McDonald's, and while we were eating, he noticed that his friends were sitting across from us. Long story short, he ditched me and I ended up eating alone. He was supposed to drive me home, but I ended up walking in the freezing rain. Sigh. Oh my gosh, what a tool bag. My most embarrassing first date was when I went to a restaurant and the lady asked me if I wanted soup or salad. I kept saying yes because I thought she said soup. I kept saying yes because I thought she said super salad. It was embarrassing because he still makes fun of me for it. Would you like a super salad? Yes. Super salad? Yes. Soup or salad? Yes. On my first date with my girlfriend was already there and waited for me, and when I saw her, I got out of my car and sprinted to her, and since I was sprinting so fast, I couldn't stop myself and had my arms out wide to give her a hug, and yep, I clotheslined her because I couldn't stop and my arm hit her neck. I don't know why this is funny, but to me, even though she ended up in the hospital, and I don't know why because she didn't even want to look at me, so I have another girlfriend. Bro, you just like hurt this woman? What? On my first date, I was sort of dating my best friend. My parents are kind of overprotective, so I had to ask them if I could just go eat dinner with my friend without saying it was a date. My brother, a year younger than me, overheard it and said, "Can I come?" He came. Let's just say if you're a girl, never wear white on a date. My first date was at a movie theater. It was near the end of a movie and I was eating snow caps and I dropped one down my bra. I didn't know what to do, so I just sat there and I could feel it melt. Oh my gosh, these are amazing comments. This is my favorite episode by far. My most embarrassing date was when me and my date were Netflix and chilling at his house. We had just got done eating spicy Chipotle burritos. Turns out my body doesn't like spicy things. We were just sitting there cuddling when I had to suddenly go to the bathroom. Yeah, let's just say when you have to go to the bathroom after eating spicy food, you shouldn't put it off until the end of the show, especially if you didn't have an extra pair of pants. I did online dating a while back and I was playing Minecraft with this boy Daniel. He and I were just messing around when my mom came in and asked who I was talking to. I looked up at her and said I was playing Minecraft with a boy, and she proceeded to grab my microphone and say into it, "I know how to hide a body." Oh my gosh, your mother probably doesn't even know how to smack properly. I'm engaged and I still haven't had a date yet. Maybe McDonald's, but that's about it. My most embarrassing first date was when I was with my secret unofficial boyfriend. Neither of us were allowed to date yet, and it was our first kiss. It was cold outside and we were in the forest exploring, and I had gotten a runny nose and no tissue. I was too embarrassed to admit it, and suddenly he kissed me, and long story short, he got some snot on his face, and I'm surprised he even still talked to me afterwards. Most people would go, "Ew, gross," and walk away. Okay, most embarrassing thing I did on my first date. So my date drove us to the park and we just sat in the car. We were talking and he was asking questions about me. So as we were talking, he started leaning in and I got nervous because he was going to be my first kiss. That should be embarrassing enough. As he was about to kiss me, I sneezed. FML. My most embarrassing date was my first date with my boyfriend, and my parents didn't know. And my boyfriend and I were fighting with this guy, and he said something that offended us both. And instead of me saying, I will shoot you, I ended up saying, I will bang you. FML. I was on my first date when I told my girlfriend I needed to go to the bathroom, so I got up and accidentally farted in her face. No. Please no. Oh well, I've only been on one date, but anyways, we were just eating pizza and watching Netflix when he puts his arms around me and tries to kiss me, and I instantly squealed and stood up and ran into his bathroom. Yeah, that's why I've only been on one date, I guess. On my first date ever, my crush Josh asked me out. We went to the movies. Halfway through the movie, he went in for a kiss. It turns out I'm allergic to rabbits. Guess what? He had a rabbit. So the next I knew, I was sneezing all over his face, but then I was prone to nosebleeds, so he also got a lot of blood on his face. He got so disgusted he ran out of the theater. Little did I know the whole theater was watching me, and a few people complained. 5 minutes after, I was kicked out and Josh had drove home without me. I had left my purse in the movie, which had my phone and money. I had to beg a random on the street for a quarter for the payphone. I was completely mortified. Oh my gosh, that is the worst date experience of this entire episode. Oh, first date. Oh, my first date. I was watching a horror movie and I got scared and I hugged my boyfriend, and my mom literally ran into the movie theater and she pushed me over and sat between us. Ha! Never been allowed to go out since then. That was 1 year ago. I'm 16 now. My first date was a walk in the woods. We found an old oak tree and decided to climb it, but when we went up it, one of the branches snapped, making me land on top of my boyfriend. We weren't badly injured, just a few bruises and scrapes. P.S. He was laughing his head off, so he didn't take it that bad. My most embarrassing first date was when me and my boyfriend were out at a restaurant, and then he knocked over my soda onto his pants and then tried to get the napkin to clean it, but instead I knocked over another soda and made things worse. The most embarrassing thing that happened to me on my first date is when I leaned in to give my GF a kiss and I farted when we touched our lips together. Worst date ever. So I was texting this boy for like 6 months. He went to my school, but we never talked or hung out. And when we finally hung out, we were going to the movies. We chose to walk on a 100-degree day about a mile to the theater, and when we got there and paid for our tickets, I threw up. Twice. Just friends now. Back in the day, neither my boyfriend or I were old enough to drive, so his mom did after we went out to eat or something. They drove me home and my boyfriend walked me to the door. Since his mom was waiting in the car, I just hugged him and went inside. When he got back into the car, his mom said, "Wow, loser, you didn't even kiss her." Why did she want to see us kiss? Great job, Mom. The only date I've ever went on for the first time was a blind date, which sucks. He canceled the date because he doesn't want to miss FIFA World Cup 2009. When I had my first date with my boyfriend, we were by this fountain sitting on the edge. I laughed so hard I fell backwards into the fountain. My extremely expensive dress was ruined. I don't know if this counts as a date, but it is extremely embarrassing. My crush and I were playing Truth or Dare over text. He dared me to text someone and ask them on a date. Stupidly, I asked him on a date as the dare. He rejected me pretty hard. Once my friend set me up with this guy who I honestly didn't like at all. We were watching a movie and he spilt popcorn on me. Then when the movie was over, he leaned in. I didn't want to kiss him, so I turned and gave him a quick hug. When I was walking away because my mom was there to pick me up, he said, "Oh, no kiss?" I didn't want to sound rude and say because I didn't like him, so instead I said, "I only kiss guys I'm dating." He asked me out right after I said that. Before saying no, I just ran to my mom's car. Oh my gosh, you guys are killing me. All right, I just want to make a little note. It sounds like the guys in almost all of these stories, probably most of these comments were from girls. That being said, guys in this world seem like tool bags. What the heck? They all seem like such tool bags. I'm disappointed. If you're a guy and you're watching this, just remember, treat women with love and respect. Treat women how you want to be treated by a woman, you know? Don't ditch them. Don't hurt them. Just be cool, be loving, be caring. That being said, you've already heard my first date story so many times. Just go watch a previous RYC. Sorry for that little rant at the end. Just, fellas, you know what I'm talking about, right? Treat a girl with respect, okay? I'm watching you, because I'm watching you. Okay, high five.